Let's talk about the politics and the to and fro of the day. Put simply, if these polls are true, then the government has no way to win the election, because if they can't hold on to seats in Western Australia, then they're going to be in big trouble. They can't get anywhere near 76, let alone a minority of, say, things like 74. So that's why the Prime Minister is in Western Australia right now. In fact, he made this very clear about his pitch to Western Australia after some polls came out today.
Don't make the mistake that federal Labor under Anthony Albanese is the same as state Labor under Mark McGowan. They're not the same thing.
Bloody oath. The same, of course, when it comes to state Labor in South Australia under Malinauskas. But have a look here. Apparently, they've done some polling in 3 seats, and our mate Christy McSweeney is running for the Liberals in Swan, so I definitely hope these numbers aren't the case for her. But right now, apparently on two-party preferred, 50-50 in Ben Morton's seat. 55-45 in the seat of Pearce, which many people expected to go because of the Christian Porter hangover, and the seat of Swan, where Steve Irons is the retiring member, apparently 59-41. So put simply, if things are this bad in Western Australia, James, then you know you're not going to get anywhere near 76. So why do you think things will miraculously change in Western Australia?
Paul, polls are a snapshot in time and they won't be the same on election day as they are today. The question is what direction they will move in, and we should look at what we expect to unfold over the next couple of weeks and months to answer that question. It's understandable why, after a long period of lockdown from the rest of the country, isolation from the rest of the country, lockout from the rest of the country, with a popular state premier, that has lifted Labor's brand in Western Australia, and a rising tide lifts all boats. It's not surprising to see a federal effect here. But to answer your question directly, why will that change? Because we've got a secret weapon. And that secret weapon, now that the state borders of Western Australia are now opened, his name is Anthony Albanese. And unlike the last 2 years, he hasn't really been able to get over there to WA and introduce himself to the people of Western Australia, and he now can. And I hope he spends as much time as possible in Western Australia and introduces himself to as many people as possible in Western Australia, so they really get to know him and understand those differences the Prime Minister is pointing out between state and federal Labor. This is going to be the most left-wing leader of the Labor Party since Gough Whitlam, perhaps even more left-wing than Gough Whitlam. He was in the right of the Labor Party, remember, and he is running on a small target strategy trying to coast into government. But if he is scrutinised and if his record is examined in Western Australia, then I'm very confident they'll come to the right decision.